Hello my loves and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nina and in today's video you'll be joining me on a vintage photo shoot. It's not a professional photo shoot or anything, it's just me, my phone, my tripod, my very cheap lighting equipment, and a good outfit. But instead of focusing on the technical side of taking photos, today we're going to talk about how to come up with original ideas for your photo shoots so your pictures look more interesting, personal, and of course, unique. If you're completely new to taking pictures by yourself, I actually made a beginner's guide type of video a few months ago covering everything from finding inspiration and posing to lighting and editing, so I'll leave the link down below. But for now, let's start planning your photo shoot. Tip number 1. Set the vibe. Music has a way of making any experience feel more meaningful, and it can do the same for your photo shoots. If you choose an artist, or even better, a specific album, you instantly create a mood to work with. Albums usually have a certain atmosphere, a certain world they're trying to build, and that can help you figure out everything from your outfit to your poses and even the way you'll edit your pictures afterwards. One album, one artist, or even one song can become the starting point for an entire photo shoot. Modeling is a lot like acting, so if you have nothing to react to, you're just rehearsing. Music gives you something to react to. It brings up words, memories, emotions, images, and little stories that influence the way you move and express yourself in front of the camera. For my photo shoot, for example, I chose Modern Times by Bob Dylan. I had been listening to that album non-stop for the past 3 weeks, and I love the atmosphere that it creates, so it was the perfect option to build a shoot around that feeling. I haven't really analyzed the album in the sense that I don't know the lyrics to all the songs, and I don't necessarily know the orders of the songs that are coming, so that's perfect to play around because you just, when you're posing and you're just engaging with the camera, you listen to a word and that changes the energy and you start thinking about different scenarios. That's exactly what we want with that album. It can be one album that you love and that you know by heart from like the first song to the last one, but it can also be one that you kind of started to know, or something that you just know you enjoy and that the vibe sort of works with what you want to do, and then you just have fun with that and let it suggest things for you. Just remember, almost anything looks a little bit awkward if it's just a person moving in silence in front of a camera. Find a soundtrack, it helps more than you think. Tip number 2. Create a character. Think about the artist or album you chose. What comes to mind immediately? For example, when I think of Bob Dylan, I think of wood, cigars, suitcases, books, trains, bars, a tambourine, a harmonica, a traveling man, a mysterious stranger. At first glance, these things might seem unrelated, but they often share something in common, whether that's a color palette, an atmosphere, a feeling, or a story. Picture this: a mysterious traveler waiting at a train station, reading a book, and smoking a cigarette. Or maybe a person sitting alone at a bar, suitcase in hand, waiting for someone while a harmonica plays somewhere outside. Suddenly you have a character. Dress that character. Do you have any clothes that fit into that color palette, or something you would wear in that situation, being in a bar, in a train station? Do you have anything you could use? Do you have any place at home that would give that vibe? Do you have any props that might help? You don't need anything fancy, believe me, you just need to create that character. For example, for my photo shoot, to create that like dark wooden vibe that I was envisioning, I only had 2 options: either this piece of furniture that I have behind me or another one that I have in here. And yes, it's furniture. People will notice it's furniture. It's not actually a train station or anything. But if people are noticing that before they are noticing me, then I'm in big trouble. What's really important is that you believe you are at a train station, because when you are conveying that character, people will understand that even before they start noticing the details. When you achieve that, everything will come natural. The poses, the expressions on your face, the ideas that you get in the middle of the photo shoot. So really trust your character. If you have a character, you have a photo shoot. Now all you have to do is play the part. Tip number 3, create an inner world. This is where playing the album in the background becomes especially helpful. By now, you know who your character is and where they are. You know the present. But how did they get there? Let's use my story as an example. Why am I at the train station? Am I running away from home? Was I dumped by my boyfriend and now I have nowhere to go? Am I waiting for someone to pick me up? What's inside the suitcase? None of these questions need an answer, and there's no correct answer anyway. The point is to ask those questions. Suddenly, you're not just standing in front of the camera. You're someone who's waiting, escaping, grieving, hoping, remembering. If you genuinely feel those things, your pictures will start telling different stories. And if it's hard to come up with those questions, focus on the album you're listening to. Maybe there's a song about betrayal, love, regret, death, freedom. It doesn't matter. Let the music suggest possibilities. It's a bit like poetry. Two people can read the same poem and come up with completely different meanings. Photography works the same way. Maybe people will understand exactly what you're trying to express. Maybe they'll see something entirely different. Either way, give them something to wonder about, not just a pretty selfie. Tip number 4. Embody the story. We already covered how to pose in the previous video, but it's worth revisiting because it's such an important part of taking interesting photos. First of all, we already established that creating shapes with your body helps make your poses more visually engaging. Dynamic lines tend to guide the eye and add interest even when you're not doing much in the frame. For example, triangles are one of the most commonly used shapes in modeling because they're easy to create with the body and they naturally lead the eye through the image. In general, diagonal lines tend to feel more dynamic than straight, static ones, especially because we are surrounded by so many straight lines in everyday life, as you can see just by checking my background, for example. Second thing is that some poses might seem a bit unnatural at first, mostly because you wouldn't normally move like that in real life. But remember, posing is a form of performance. The results often look stronger in photographs than what they feel like in the moment. The third one is extremely important, and it's to keep in mind your posture. Lengthen your neck and imagine there's an invisible string gently lifting you upward or guiding any movement. For example, in the space I used for my photo shoot, I was sitting most of the time, but instead of sitting completely comfortably, I was focused on shaping the pose intentionally. If I crossed my legs, I paid attention on how I distributed my weight so that the line of the pose remained clean and intentional. At this point, think of yourself as a model. You're not trying to sit or stand exactly as you normally would. You're creating a composition. It's worth sacrificing a few seconds of comfort to create a stronger photograph and a pose that better tells the story. Tip number 5. Enjoy the warm-up. The first 50 pictures you take are just a warm-up. Between the first picture and the 50th one, you might have changed the lighting, you might have tried a different accessory, you might have changed the position of the camera, you might have tried a different outfit or hair, although that's something I wouldn't really recommend. But what I'm trying to say is that you won't get it perfectly the first time. Maybe you need to experiment and move things around until you find something that works for you. And if you do find something that works better, then you've already warmed up and practiced some poses that you can just repeat now. It is super important to play around with all the elements that you're using while doing a photo shoot, because if anything, you're going to get better pictures. You're going to get different angles, different lighting, different moods, different vibes. If you feel a little bit ashamed of just modeling outside by yourself and putting your tripod in there, start at home and change your energy first. Know exactly, like at least 10 poses that you're going to do outside, and then I swear it's going to be a lot easier. I know it's difficult to just forget about everyone else around you, but you also need to know what you're going there for. If not, you're just going to sit like this in front of the camera and having people look at you, because they will do that. But just practice and let the warm-up happen in a place where you feel super comfortable. Outside you won't necessarily have music, but you can use some AirPods or something so that they're not necessarily noticeable. Keep that in mind, of course. But yeah, just have fun and remember that this is supposed to be something that you enjoy doing. So let yourself just do whatever you feel like, dance around, pause for a second, check what you've done so far, check if it works for you, if you feel nice, and if you're not feeling that well, then start over or just stop and come back tomorrow and do it again. It needs practice, it needs some work, but you'll get to a point where you'll love all the pictures. And if you need more tips on how to do that if you're just starting out, as I said, there's another video you can watch. That was everything for today. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Please let me know if there are any questions that you have about this photoshoot process. I would love to answer them. And yeah, see you guys on the next one. Bye!
But they sure got some cuties incorrect.